So before we get started, we'd like to thank the Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights for their support of this event and extend a warm welcome to our panelists. Thank you everyone for joining. And first up, we have Katie Erickson at American.
Great. Thank you so much, Joanne. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So thank you all so much for being here. My name is Katie Erickson, and I am an Assistant Director of Admission at American University in Washington, D.C. So in addition to being an admissions rep, I am also an AU alumna. I graduated in 2015, so 6 years ago, and I studied anthropology and history when I was a student. So one of the first things that I always like to mention is our location in DC in relation to the rest of the city. So we do have a beautiful traditional college campus in a residential part of upper Northwest DC. We are pretty close to the Maryland border, and we are about 4 miles from the White House downtown. Our campus is an arboretum, so we have lots of trees and flowers, and we have a big grass quad in the center of campus. So it is very much a traditional college campus. However, you're only a few miles from the hustle and bustle of downtown. And we also give all of our students an unlimited public transportation pass, which we call the U-Pass, that will allow you to take the metro, which is our subway system, or the buses anywhere you want around the Washington, D.C. area. So we really encourage students to get out and explore the city and take advantage of everything that it has to offer. Here are some facts and figures about our student body. We are a mid-sized private university. We have about 8,500 undergraduate students at AU. So it's not too big, not too small, kind of the perfect size in my opinion. Our average class size is 23. So the vast majority of your classes are going to be small seminar style courses. And all of our classes are taught by professors. You would never have a TA as an instructor. Our student to faculty ratio is 11:1, and you do build up relationships with your professors and get to know them really well, which is awesome. In terms of diversity, 32% of our students identify as students of color. We have all 50 states represented, as well as 122 countries internationally. About 10% of our students are international students. So you really are going to make friends from all over the country and all over the world at AU, which is pretty great. So we do know that the transition from high school to college can be difficult. So we have a first year experience in place to make sure that all of our students are adjusting well to life in college and life at AU in particular. We have a required course that all freshmen have to take. It's called the American University Experience, or AUX as we like to call it. The curriculum of that class is going to teach you all about campus resources, general academic skills, life skills like personal finance and budgeting, and also how to navigate social and cultural differences within the diverse community at AU. And the instructor for your AUX class during your fall semester is going to be your first year advisor. So you'll get to know your advisor really well because you get to see them every single week in class. Our first year advisors are not major specific. They are trained on all the different academic areas within the university. So they are really there to help you explore your interests, whatever they may be. We do have an entire core curriculum that we have set up. I'm not going to go into detail about it right now, but I would encourage you all to visit the AU website if you want to read more about our core curriculum. If there is one thing that I want you to remember about academics at American University, it is that we have flexible academics. If you apply and get admitted to American University, you are admitted to the entire university, not just to one of these schools or colleges or a particular major. So that means once you start at AU, if you want to switch your major to another school, if you want to double major across two schools, major in one, minor in another, etc., the whole university is open to you. And a lot of our students do tend to switch or add on a major. So regardless of what your academic interest might be, or if you're undecided, you'll definitely have opportunities to explore your interests and study whatever you want. One of the most popular experiential learning opportunities at AU is doing internships. Overall, 91% of our students complete an internship before graduating. And on average, AU students intern 3 times before graduating. Whatever field you're looking to go into, there are going to be internship openings for you in DC. It's very much a part of the professional culture here. A lot of our students might be interested in government, so they might intern on Capitol Hill, the State Department, the White House, the Justice Department, lots of opportunities in the government. But we also have lots of opportunities in business, education, science, technology, nonprofits, museums, whatever you're interested in, you're going to be able to find internships. And we do have an awesome career center on campus. It's a great resource to help you along the way. Another really popular opportunity for our students is study abroad. Overall, 70% of AU students study abroad. We have about 150 different study abroad programs all over the world in 45 different countries. Most students study abroad during their junior year. You can go for a semester, for a whole year. We have some summer programs, and we also do alternative break trips over winter break and spring break as well. And when you study abroad, all of your tuition and financial aid will remain the same. So the only difference in cost might be the cost of living, which can vary depending on the country that you go to, but your base tuition, financial aid scholarships will stay the same. So if you want to study abroad, we try to make it as accessible as possible to anyone that wishes to go. Any major, any location, you should be able to study abroad. So when it comes to student clubs and activities, we have over 150 student-led clubs and organizations on campus. Hopefully anything you're interested in being involved in, it probably already exists at AU, but if not, it's pretty easy to start your own club as well. When it comes to athletics, our varsity sports are NCAA Division One. We're in the Patriot League, but we also have 45 different club and intramural level sports as well. We do have Greek life on campus. We have both social and professional sororities and fraternities. We don't have a Greek row on campus. It's really more like a club or organization at AU. It's not something that completely dominates your life unless you want it to. There are a lot of different ways to have a social life on campus. So whatever you want to be involved in, there's definitely going to be a lot of different opportunities to be in extracurricular activities. We do have 12 residence halls on campus and 16 dining locations. We do not have a housing requirement at AU, so it's really up to you, however long you want to live on or off campus. And our meal plans are flexible, so you can use them at a lot of different dining locations. We do have virtual tours of all of our different residence halls on our website. So if you want to see more pictures and videos about what they look like, feel free to check that out. I do want to mention that we have some living learning communities. So these are small groups of students that would live on the same floor of their residence hall. They would take 1 or 2 special classes together, and they'd have activities and programming outside of class as well. Some of these programs do require a separate supplemental application in addition to your regular university application. So just keep that in mind if you end up doing more research and becoming interested, you may have to apply separately to some of those programs. This is the admitted student profile for GPA and test scores from last year. Keep in mind that this is just a middle 50 percentile average, so it's not comprehensive. There's always people below and above this as well. We do accept both weighted and unweighted GPAs, so that scale includes both. And keep in mind that we are test optional, and we've been test optional for over 10 years now. So this is not a new policy due to COVID-19. If you do end up submitting your test scores, we do super score both the SAT and the ACT, but it's completely up to you because we are test optional. We do use a holistic review for our application. So you can see a list of some of the things that we look at. And then you also can see our deadlines. We offer early decision 1 and 2 and regular decision. Keep in mind that early decision is binding. So you would need to be really confident that American University is your top choice school if you were applying ED. Most of our students come in the regular decision pool. I do want to mention when it comes to financial aid that we offer both need-based aid and merit scholarships at AU. The good news about merit scholarships, there is nothing that you have to do besides apply to the university. We will automatically review you for merit scholarship consideration when you apply to the university, and it is based on academics alone. So while our overall application review is a holistic review, the merit scholarship review is purely based on academics. When it comes to need-based financial aid, we do meet 100% of institutional demonstrated need for all of our students. So please, please make sure that you submit both the FAFSA and the CSS profile documents by your application deadline in order to be considered for need-based aid. It's really, really important that you submit both of those documents, and then we do meet 100% of demonstrated need. And that is it for my very, very brief presentation about AU. This is my contact info. I am the designated admissions representative for Georgia. So if you do have any particular questions or concerns, definitely feel free to reach out to me. My phone number and email is there. We also offer a number of different events. So if you want to check out our website, social media channels, please feel free to do so and continue to stay connected to our office. I am going to stop sharing my screen now, and I look forward to answering your questions later. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was perfect, and lots of great information. We appreciate it. Next up, we have Aaron Ray from Hamilton.
Great. Just want to do a sound check. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Are my AirPods working? Okay,
No.
good. Sometimes it makes me sound like a robot. Yes, my name's Aaron Ray. I'm the director of opportunity programs at Hamilton College, which is exactly what it says. It's an opportunity for students to attend Hamilton that traditionally maybe wouldn't be admitted into the institution. Full transparency, I'm new. I started in January, and I've mostly been working remotely, though I am going to be in the office today, which is exciting. So a lot of what I'm going to share is things that I've learned, but haven't necessarily yet experienced. Hamilton College is a small liberal arts school in upstate New York. Most people see New York and they're thinking the Big Apple, New York City, subways. No, we are very, very far from New York City, probably good 4.5 to 5 hours away. So if you're coming to Hamilton College, you're coming through Syracuse, New York. Now, Syracuse is not Atlanta, but it is something. There is an airport, there are people, so you have a sense of society if you attend Hamilton. Hamilton College is in a small town called Clinton. It's a population of about 3,000 people. Hamilton's a student body of about 1,900 students. So we are in rural, upstate New York. Read into that what you like. I think one of the coolest things about Hamilton is going to sound really weird, but there's a bison farm right around the corner from campus. I don't know about you, but I've actually never seen a living bison in my life, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that farm. But that's just to help you kind of understand where we are on the map. But Hamilton College is named after Alexander Hamilton. Yep, that Alexander Hamilton, the musical, and it is a school that has been around since the early 1800s. There's a lot of things about Hamilton to know, but the few things I think are really important for you to take away today is one, Hamilton has an open curriculum, which makes my job easier when I'm advising students, but the fact that you can come to Hamilton and you get to take the courses that you're really interested in, it provides a lot of flexibility for students. So there aren't certain STEM courses you have to take. There aren't certain humanities or social science courses that you have to take. You come to Hamilton, you can double major, double minor, whatever it is you want to do. They really encourage students to explore, and the motto at Hamilton is know thyself. Hamilton is a residential campus. I've said before, we're in the middle of nowhere. So if you're coming to Hamilton, you're coming for the academics and you're coming for the on-campus experience. So don't expect to be like, oh, I want to go shopping in downtown. Maybe 20 minutes away in New Hartford, where I'm currently buying a house. But I think a lot of students come to Hamilton expecting one thing, and then the experience is very different. And so you all are down in the South, you're in the Atlanta metro area. It is going to be a very different experience. Hamilton is about 25% domestic students of color, about 8% international students. The incoming class is on pace to be the most diverse in history. So Hamilton is making great strides in that direction. But Hamilton is a predominantly white and predominantly wealthy institution. What does that mean? Probably the demographics of the campus are going to be very different than what you're used to. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's something that students should be aware of. Hamilton is blessed in terms of its endowment, so that allows the institution to really support students in a variety of ways. We meet full need, 100% demonstrated need, and we're also need blind. Your financial need is not utilized by the admissions office when making admissions decisions. And I think that is something that's really great. It allows for the admissions readers to really just focus in on your application and not worry how much financial aid a student may or may not need. The campus is implementing a new advising program, which probably doesn't sound exciting to you as a high school student, but for us as administrators and current students at Hamilton is actually a really exciting thing. So each student coming in as the class of 2025 right now is going to be assigned an ALEX advisor. ALEX stands for Advising, Learning, and Experience. And so each advisor will stay with the student all 4 years. It's not a faculty member. It's not someone who's a part of my office. We do advising as well, but you will have an adult on campus that will be your go-to person. If you have questions about housing, you can go to your ALEX advisor. You don't know what classes to take, you can go to your ALEX advisor. And the idea is that you will get to work closely with this person over 4 years and develop a really good bond. And they'll also get to know you and be able to identify things that maybe you yourself can't necessarily identify or haven't figured out yet. They'll also work to make sure that students don't slip between the cracks. College is hard. College is stressful at times. We're in a global pandemic. And so having a support system like the ALEX advising program will make sure that each of our students are getting personalized attention and support during their 4 years at Hamilton. Students at Hamilton have internships all the time, even starting after their first year of college. There's funding available for students to have those internships. Once it's safe, our students will be studying abroad again. We do have some students scheduled to go this fall. Fingers crossed that they'll be able to. Hamilton has also provided a lot of support for students during COVID-19. When the campus had to shut down, for students who couldn't return home for whatever reason, were provided housing by Hamilton through Airbnbs and hotels. During the fall and spring semester, Hamilton has had it so that students will be tested 3 times a week, which has allowed the campus to create what we call the hubble, the Hamilton bubble. So we've only had 23 positive cases the entire academic year. And we've been almost entirely in person the entire academic year. Hamilton is a place where students can really pursue what they want, and they can pursue it with the support of faculty and staff on campus. It's not the right school for every student, so I really encourage students who are interested in Hamilton to really do your homework. Feel free to reach out to me. College Aim has my contact information, but also reach out to current students. I know there's some students on the panel today, but reach out to current students at any institution that you're interested in applying to really learn about the student experience, because they'll be able to provide you a perspective that I myself, I haven't attended Hamilton and I've only been there for 3 months, but they'll be able to provide you a perspective that will be really helpful to you. So I'll cut off my presentation there, but I look forward to the Q&A portion.
Thank you, Aaron, so much for that. And I hope you're best wishes for settling in there. It sounds like it's a little cold too, potentially in the winter.
I mean, I wasn't going to go there, but yes.
Okay, so next up we have, we're going to go to Trinity College with Adrienne Audie to tell us a little bit about her school.
Thanks so much. And I'm happy we're able to do this virtually, but as a Georgia born and raised gal, would very much love to be doing this in person with all of y'all. Not sure if you can see behind me, but Georgia is always near me. So very excited to speak with fellow Georgians about what it's like to leave the great state for college. And especially if folks want to join me at Trinity in Hartford. So I am going to share my screen. This is Trinity in the foreground of this picture here, and in the background is downtown Hartford. So we are in the city limits of Hartford, but have our own sort of campus culture and feel as well. You can walk downtown to Hartford. I've done it myself several times, so it's very accessible, but you still get the benefits of being in a city and also having sort of a sense of place within the campus community too. We are 2,100 students strong, situated in a residential liberal arts community. Like my friends at Hamilton, welcome to the NESCAC, Erin. We are a historically white and historically wealthy institution, so that's certainly something you should be mindful of as you're preparing for the transition to Trinity. Academically, as a liberal arts college, we're going to ask you to study across the curriculum. We really believe wholeheartedly in the idea that liberal arts is the foundation for innovation. And certainly in what we've all experienced over the last 18 months, living in the pandemic times and in the times of greater visibility for racism in our country, there's a lot of value in being able to approach problems and to try to create solutions from many different disciplines and from many different perspectives. So you're going to be encouraged and pushed to study across the curriculum at Trinity. It's also very important to us, and increasingly so, that your academic experience is connected to the greater Hartford area, and that you're connecting what you're doing in the classroom with what you plan on doing after you graduate. And so there are hundreds of community learning courses each year that will get you interacting with the greater Hartford area and will allow you to see in more tangible ways some of the impact the work you're doing as a scholar and the work you're doing with faculty can have on a community. In addition to what we're doing in Hartford, Trinity very much welcomes students from all over the world. So we've got students from throughout the United States represented, and also students from over 80 countries. So you'll have a global experience just within Hartford, but about 60% of our students, assuming the world will continue to open up, will get to study abroad. So that's very much a part of your Trinity experience. Also of note, since we're a small liberal arts college, one of the distinctions at Trinity is that students can study in an engineering program. So you get the benefit of having your calculus classes as only 20 students instead of hundreds of students, and partnerships with companies like Pratt Whitney so that you can continue to do internships and gain professional experiences while you are a Trinity student. Moving and pulling on that thread a little bit, certainly within the sciences, there are practical things you can be doing, but really across the curriculum, I think it's nice for students to see the professional experiences that you can have and that you can pursue while you're a student throughout the academic year. We certainly have support for you in securing internships in different locations over the summer or during an extended time away from campus, but also are really proud that we can weave in the internship experience throughout the academic year too. For the health science and health career minded folks who are joining us today, I want to take a moment to highlight our Health Fellows program. Hartford Healthcare is literally across the street from campus, so you can walk across the street and get exposed to the variety that exists in the healthcare profession, which I think helps students shape and focus what they want to do in a medical field. We also have the opportunity, just being a mile away from the state's Capitol building, for students to get involved with the state legislature. And so those are some pretty significant components that work toward internship credits and also academic credits. So it's a place where we are constantly working with you and supporting you and figuring out like how you are connecting classroom and career. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention entertainment opportunities. Certainly college is a time to be serious about your studies, and the students at Trinity take their academic pursuits seriously, but we also want you to have fun and we want you to have a full life. And so being able to get in and around Hartford as Hartford opens up, I think is really special. So it's a lot easier to navigate Hartford than it is to navigate Atlanta. You can go to different neighborhoods within the city in a day without the major headaches of Atlanta traffic. So there's plenty of options and opportunities for you to make sure you're getting in and out in the city in fun and social ways as well. Trinity certainly prepares students to live successful lives after graduation. I think it's really interesting that as a liberal arts college, over half of our students will go into business consulting and finance as a career, even though we don't have a business degree as a major. Part of that is driven by us being located in the insurance capital of the world. So there's just a ton of opportunities for students to develop business skills and to work with leaders in the Hartford community. And I think that shapes where they go next. Also, pulling on the thread of liberal arts being the foundation for innovation, like students get really into technology transformations. We have some really fantastic partnerships with companies like Infosys that are major global tech giants to give students an experience and an opportunity to learn what it's like to be in the fast moving sort of tech space. So coming to Trinity certainly provides you with a board of advisors who are going to help you feel confident about what you're doing while you're a Trinity student and will prepare you for life afterwards. As a fellow Southerner, thought it was important to share that you get all 4 seasons in New England. So winter is one of my favorite times. The campus, there's a quiet that comes with the snow. You will need a winter coat and boots that serve for function more so than they are for fashion, but we can definitely help you out with those things. From an admissions perspective, like my colleagues at American and at Hamilton, we're going to look at your application holistically. And so we're really looking for strivers and climbers at Trinity, students who have grown throughout high school, like seeing grades that are getting better and better as you move through your high school experiences. If there are challenging or different courses that you have access to, encourage you to take them. You don't have to take every single one of them by any means, but if you're a student who is interested in physics and you have an honors physics at your school as an opportunity, I hope you take advantage of that. And we would rather you get a lower grade in an honors course than staying sort of in the easiest possible course you have to get straight A's. We are a school that has been test optional for many years now. And so you can certainly take tests if you want to take tests, but for us, over 80% of students who applied to Trinity did so without standardized testing, and over 80% of students who were admitted to Trinity were admitted without standardized testing. So optional really does mean optional for us. And if that's a pressure point we can alleviate for you in the college application process, happy to do it. As far as financial aid is concerned, I think that's a really important piece of the process, and we're here to help you fill out those forms. We require the FAFSA and the CSS profile. Those go live in October of your senior year. You have great resources through College AIM in navigating those forms, but we're here to help from the Trinity perspective too, so that you can complete everything you need to complete to be fully considered for all of the financial aid that we have to offer. I'll stop there and turn it over to Joanne for more questions.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. That was excellent as well. And I love that picture of the snow. That's something we haven't seen here for a few years. So we were supposed to have one additional college, which was Lincoln University, who I don't believe was able to make it onto the call. If you're here, you can speak up, but I don't think he is. So that brings us to the introduction of our students. So we're going to move into the Q&A portion, and I just wanted to let our current students on the call introduce themselves. I believe there are 3. We have Abdul, Dion, and Kumor. Is there any other current students that I'm missing? Okay, great. So
technically I'm about to graduate, so I don't really consider myself I mean, I am a student, but I'm not.
Are
technically.
okay, our current, these are the current college students we have. I'm sorry. I should have been more specific.
I am a current college student.
Who is this?
This is Iona Lynn Harriot.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. So I thought Jelena would be on the call, but so that's perfect. You're here. Yeah, if you can then you can start. I'm gonna ask you to introduce yourself, where you're going to college, and then something that surprised you about college.
You really want me to do that? Okay. So I guess I'll start from the top. My name is Iona Harriot. I am a 5th-year senior at, oh, can y'all hear me? Yeah, okay. I'm a 5th-year senior at Skidmore College. And I can't really start at what surprised me. I'm gonna start at what didn't shock me. So when I got to Skidmore as a freshman, I did the FYE program. Was first year experience, and I was actually there with Aaron Ray. What's up, Aaron? And I think I was prepared for it being cold, because I did the discovery program before at my school, which they have every year, and it was a little gross. But what led to me not being prepared is everyone else being prepared for the gross, and I don't mean just weather. I mean like some of the ugly attitudes that come out with the gross. I think my biggest thing was not putting my ego to the side, but weighing the worth of my emotional health in the midst of everyone else being ugly, and sort of navigating and saying that it's not that I can't be who I am. I have to decide how far out of character somebody else is going to bring me. Oops. And that's just one thing that I think I wasn't expecting, for the self metamorphosis that I had to put myself through, because, people say, oh, you changed. Okay, nah, I adapted. And it's learning the difference between adaptation and succumbing to your circumstances. That was something that I personally wasn't prepared for, especially coming out of the South, especially coming out of Towers. I was used to just sort of balling out. I'll do my thing. I can't really worry about everybody else. But when you go to a college environment, especially when it's a small liberal arts school like Skidmore, you do have to be prepared to be like, all right, we are all in the same theoretical bubble, but we are not all taking up the same amount of space. So as one of the few students of color on Skidmore's campus, I think I had to be aware that I can check somebody, but I can't let them bring me out of character. Um, in the midst of checking them, it's balance. And you hear that all the time. Oh, college is about balance. College is about balance. Nah, buddy, college is about balancing everything else second, and then maintaining yourself first, which is like a whole different game. But I'm gonna let somebody else go ahead. Y'all got it. What's up?
I appreciate that so much. Thank you for sharing and being really candid and honest on the call. I appreciate it. Do you want to go? Do you want to go to Dion from Trinity? Can you introduce yourself and then talk about a little bit about your experience so far?
Yes, I can. Hello, everybody. My name is Dion Kelly. Hey, girl. My name is Dion Kelly. I'm a sophomore here at Trinity. I'm a sociology major with a community action minor. One thing that surprised me about Trinity was two things. One, the weather. Well, the changes of the weather, like almost 24/7. Like it's springtime. One time it's spring, and then next thing you know it's snowing. Next thing you know it's raining. It's just a lot. Like pick one. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that okay. I don't know. What's the other thing? The other thing that surprised me is the hospitality up here. To Harriet's point, like people just like not rude, but like rude. Like I be saying hello because they be looking, and they just be looking like they cat died or something, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
Fix
So
your
just
face.
like the hospital, right? No, it's just like the hospitality is so different up here. So just really be mindful of that, and being from the South is just really like stirring like what's going on. But But that's a couple of things. And then towards the Q&A, we can get to that later. But yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Dion. I appreciate it. And you're always, thanks for always stepping up and joining in on these calls for us too. It's good to see you. And let's go to Kamor. Tell us a little bit about yourself and something that surprised you this year.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kamora Campbell. I attend American University. I am a freshman right now, um, sophomore next year, of course. Um, I've only had one semester, which was this semester on campus at American in Washington, D.C. So I flew up in January and actually stayed on campus for um, the past few months. What surprised me also was the weather. Being from Georgia, coming up to DC, the first day I got there, it was snowing. It was snowing for like 3 weeks straight, and I'm like, what am I going to do? But I also had to like go get groceries and like go out. So I was literally like walking, jogging, bike riding in the snow. Like American campus is so beautiful, and like we have literally our own little campus, our own little place environment. So like walking around campus and everything in the snow was like very new to me. Everyone around campus, they jog. So you might see an 80-year-old just jogging one day if it's like if it's feeling really good. So when I seen the older people jogging, I just started jogging more around campus, which really surprised me because like I never like went jogging in Atlanta. So um, it surprised me as far as, yes, he does. I've actually met him on campus. Um, the doctor who invented the COVID vaccine jogs around campus. So, okay, back to what I was saying was that although this surprised me, it was like really pretty good. Everything is close to the campus, so no more than a 10-minute walk. So everything's pretty close. You can walk to Target, Starbucks. The mailroom is all around campus. Um, the school is really diverse. I have about a group of 4 to 5 different friends. We're all from different states. We're all very different, but this was my first time having a real diverse group of friends. Everybody has taught me something different, and it's only been a few months. So my friend, she's from New York. I have a friend from Ghana, and I have a friend from Louisiana. All very different. All have different tastes, different cultures, and everything. And one thing I just want to say, coming from the South up north, just be prepared to tell like be prepared to be talking to people and they like looking at you crazy because they don't know what you're saying because we talk different. Like we have an accent. So the past 4 months I've heard like over 100 times that I have accent. And that was one of the like the first times I ever heard that I have accent because I was up north. But yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Abdul Diallo. I'm from Guinea, but I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to McNair High School, and I'm a first year student at Cornell. I'm studying urban planning with an interest in transportation and real estate. Um, like I wasn't really surprised about the weather because that's all I've been hearing about. Like coming into Cornell, like it's gonna be cold. You better prepare. So like I was expecting it. One thing that like surprised me is just like how smart and like passionate everyone is. Um, I was before coming into Cornell, I heard like about the imposter syndrome, and you could coming into Cornell or like just any like school, and like you could start comparing yourself to others, and with that, like it could bring down like just your mood. Like I remember just being in classes and hearing other people talk like about their experiences and like what they're studying. You just start to feel like, dang, do I like belong here? But I just want to like say like if you got admitted into the school, then like you definitely like they seen something in you, so you definitely belong there. And like one of my favorite quotes is actually like comparison is a thief of joy. So I stopped comparing myself to others and just like trying to do like what I can do the best and not comparing myself to those people. like the diversity, like that's one thing I really like about Cornell. Like it's not the most diverse school, but like I live in Ujima, which is residential hall, like where it's a lot of Latinos, Hispanics, African Americans, and people from the African diaspora. So even though I'm at a PWI, um, like I've made like such diverse friends. Like some of my friends are from Senegal. One of my friends is from Norway, like Norway. I've never met someone from Norway, and that's like one of my closest friends. So it's really like it's a really diverse school, and like Omora said, like I think like my favorite part of just like the whole college experience is like the people that I've met, the friends that I've made. I think like these are gonna be like lifelong like relationships, and you just learn a lot from people, and like you get to have fun with them. Like even though everyone is like pretty like smart and stuff like that, like they're pretty cool. They like to hang out, you get to like do new things. Like I went uh what is it called? I went mountain biking like on snow. That's something I would have never done in Atlanta. So it's like a pretty cool opportunity just to be up here. But yeah, like if you guys have like any questions, like I'm really happy to answer like any questions for like first years or just like my experience at Cornell. Just to keep it like informal, like this is nothing formal. So yeah.
I'm excited for you. This first year I know has been a big transition, and it sounds like you're doing really well. So, all right, we're gonna let you all ask some questions. If you want to unmute yourself and ask, go ahead. If you feel more comfortable typing it in, you can do that. We'd love to hear from you.
Which tests did y'all say were optional?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your question.
I think he said which tests were optional when you talked about test optional.
Oh, well, for American, it's totally up to you. You don't have to do the SAT or the ACT. You could just submit the regular Common App or Coalition app, your high school transcript, 2 recommendation letters, and you don't have to do any standardized test. I'm guessing from my colleagues who are also test optional, it's probably the same way.
There's a question in the chat. How does college help students secure employment? Currently, I'm a rising junior, so I want to know some specific things about going to college. So yes, that connection between college and employment, that bridge.
I feel like,
So
sorry, Aaron. You want to?
Dion, that's all you.
Okay, appreciate it. I feel like as a college student now, connecting that with employment is honestly networking, right? It really depends on who you know. So like with me, I was really worried about finding a job and or internship at Trinity. But then I really, it's not even about like talking to people, but rather like conveying them or reeling them in with your interests. So they have that on their radar and then they connect to other people like, oh, I know so and so who's doing this. And this I feel like this opportunity would be great for them. And with that, the opportunities just rolled in my freshman year, and that's a blessing. Because I literally have, not even gonna hold you, I have 4 jobs freshman year, and I still have 4 jobs now. So employment is possible, but it really depends on who you know.
Aaron, after you go, I'm gonna go.
Okay. So I was just going to say, colleges and universities have career development centers, or they have different titles to them, career services, those sort of things. And in my experience, the students who utilize that department, who utilize the various opportunities, one thing you have to know about college, and the students can attest to this, is your email is going to be bombarded. And it's going to be very difficult to sift through all of the emails. But there is a real value in developing your email navigation skills. But students who utilize the career center, or whatever it's called at each institution, and take them up on their offers of meeting with employers, doing mock interviews, working on your resume, cover letters, doing elevator pitches, like they really do so much, things that I wish I took advantage of as a student. So it's funny that I'm now preaching to students to do those things, do as I say, not as I did. But students who utilize those services find opportunities. I have students right now who are seniors, both at Skidmore and at Hamilton, who have jobs for when all they're waiting for is to just graduate. I had a student who had a job in September waiting for it, making way more money than I'll probably ever make in my life. But they're all students who have utilized those services.
Great. Well, the next question I have here is, does it hurt your?
Oh, Joanne,
Oh, you know what?
I
I'm
had
gonna
something to
go fast
add.
forward today. Go ahead. I'm so sorry again. Go for it.
You're fine. Okay, so so here's the thing. I've taken a class in basically every department on Skidmore, and the thing that I learned is that the individual departments don't tell everything about what's going on for their students. And so, and this goes back to what Dion was saying about networking. When you go to school, you do have to make friends. Like, that's the end all be all. Like, I get it, stranger danger, people are weird, you got that. But my bad, car's passing. But your friends, the people in these various departments, they will, now granted, they may have to drag you because, that seasonal depression, it will hit at the weirdest times, but you share your interests with your friends and they use your resources and you use theirs. Outside of the school environment, once you have your skills that you've collected from college or whatever things you think you want to build on, it really is a determination of what you want to do. It's one thing to have a job. It's another thing to make a career. I'm an English major, and I'm currently building my own publishing company, but it's a multi-dimensional publishing company. I make flyers and I make documentaries and I have all of these assets, but I'm using them in a way that benefits me and not necessarily a corporation. At the end of the day, schools are businesses. It doesn't matter what they give you. What matters is what you take out and how you use to manipulate it. That college degree is dope, but the skills, get into the arts, get into silver soldering and horseback, right? Like, do things that you wouldn't necessarily want to do. That's how you get the most out of your college experience. That's how you get a job. You get the skills from them and then you take it and run with it. It doesn't matter if it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't matter, how other people judge your experience. At the end of the day, what you pick up from college and what you learn and how you get that job is all on you.
So like get out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. Every time. If it feels uncomfortable, I don't like it. That's not my do it. Doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, all you can do is say, oh, I learned that I don't like that. Me, I learned that I play polo. I am 5 foot even, and I play polo. I know how to tack. I know how to clean a horse's hooves off. I know how to do all of that. I learned that at Skidmore College. I learned that in a year. It literally is in your brain. Once you decide that that sounds good, but that may not be up, do it. Just do it every time.
I love that. That's great advice. And I see Katie has posted something in chat as well for you to find some of the outcomes for employment at American. Does anyone else want to touch on that topic before I speed us through all the questions? Anything else on employment? Okay, next in the chat I see, does it hurt your chances of enrollment if you take some but not all of the advanced classes in school?
I mean, I can speak to it a little bit. I was agreeing with what Adrienne was actually saying during her presentation about Trinity, that at least at American as well, it's kind of the similar boat of, we really like to see that students are challenging themselves, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's an expectation that you have to take every single course as the most advanced possible, because that could be overwhelming. So maybe there's certain subject areas that you're particularly interested in and you want to challenge yourself in those areas. But let's say hypothetically, you're just like not a math person, like that's okay. You don't have to take calculus if you like really struggle with math, like just, you know, in at least some areas, if your school offers those honors, AP, IB, dual enrollment courses, like try to challenge yourself and take some of those, because rigor of curriculum is a factor in a lot of college admissions processes. It's not just about grades, it's about, you know, how challenging are your courses. So I would say try to take some, but don't stress out too much about trying to make every single class like as difficult as possible if it's going to overwhelm you.
I'll just add, because I am a math person and like to look at data to figure stuff out. There is no difference in how someone, like, in preparedness, essentially, between someone who takes a couple of challenging classes and someone who takes all challenging classes. The way students are moving through college experiences academically is pretty similar, if you, as long as you're just taking a couple. So my hope is that we as colleges and universities can be clearer about our expectations so that you as students don't feel like you have to take every single honors or advanced class in order to gain entry into our spaces, because what you do with your classroom experience as a college student is just going to be really different. And we hope that you're stepping into it instead of being so overwhelmed by the end of your senior year in high school that the classroom isn't exciting to you anymore. And to, like, it should be exciting. You should want to get out of your comfort zone. So we want you to save some of that energy for when you're on our college campuses.
Great. Thank you, guys. The next question that I see here kind of piggybacks on that. Do any of the colleges on this call accept dual enrollment credits?
Yes, American does. You just have to make sure that you submit a college transcript in addition to your high school transcript. So even if your dual enrollment classes are like listed on your high school transcript, we can't evaluate them for transfer credit unless we also get the college transcript from whatever college the dual enrollment is with. And we accept a maximum of 60 credits, which is the same as transfer students. So I know there are some students who are in early college type high school programs where you take a lot of dual enrollment. That's awesome. You'll be able to transfer up to 60 of those credits, and you could potentially even graduate early. So
Yes, I just wanted to speak more about the dual enrollment credits. I actually graduated with an associate's degree from Georgia Piedmont within dual enrollment. American actually accepted all of my credits. It was a little over 60. They accepted all of them. But I have many friends who did dual enrollment too, who couldn't get their credits transferred yet because they didn't submit the college transcript. So I just want to let y'all know, if y'all are going to the schools who do accept dual enrollment credits, you need to just make sure that you're on top of that. Don't wait until after you take 3 classes that you already have a credit for to try to get your credits transferred. I had to submit all of my syllabus from all my college credits. So I emailed professors from 2 years ago and I just made sure I stay on that. So yeah, if you want your dual enrollment credits to transfer over for wherever school you choose, just make sure you're contacting the your advisor and everything to make sure you do it before August.
Does anyone else want to touch on the dual enrollment topic?
I'll just say that it's important to ask each institution you're applying to, because I know that there are some institutions that will not give you double credit. So if you're getting high school credit and college credit, there are institutions, and I won't name names, but my alma mater, that will not give you credit. Some institutions will only take AP credits or college credits earned outside of high school.
Great, thank you. Yes, but I think the one good thing, even if they don't accept the dual enrollment credit, it does show rigor. Is that correct?
Yes, and help students with being prepared for what you're taking on. So not everything has to count or double or triple count in order for it to be helpful.
Okay, so we actually have one more student, a current college student who joined the call, Jelena Harriet. She's here. She's in a different time zone and got a little confused with the difference. So, Jelena, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you're going to school and something that surprised you about college?
Can you hear me okay? Okay, my name is Jelena. I go to school at Langston University. It's in Langston, Oklahoma.
And tell us something about your college experience so far that has been surprising or that you want to share with the students on the call.
That's been surprising. I would say for me, I work as much as I go to class, if that makes sense.
You work at a job or you work out like homework?
Work meaning, so I'm a agriculture major and I do a lot of agriculture research and just a lot of agricultural research. And I also take classes, in my field, but I do an equal amount of work and as well as, taking classes. I don't think I was told a lot about working and getting the experience when I was first, going into school. So I thought, it was something interesting.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's a good perspective to have. Definitely different from high school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I'm missing any questions in the chat or if anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask anything else right now.
I have a question about like grad school options for any of the colleges in the chat because, like I said, I am a 5th-year senior, but I am definitely trying to go to grad school at some point. Maybe like not in the next year, but eventually. Like, oh, here go Aaron. Here you go.
No, I was just gonna say, Iona, you can talk to me. This session is for the younger students, but you and I can have a long conversation about grad school options.
Okay.
I wanted to add on to like what Jelena was saying regarding like how she works as much as like she goes to class. I think that's I kind of have the same thing too, like adjusting college. Like in high school, I could work for 3 4 hours and I'll be good for a week. But like in college, you're probably working 3 4 hours like every day, addition adding on to your classes. So I think one thing that I would advise, like just like getting prepared for college, is getting a calendar, a planner, and just like writing down like this is what I'm gonna do today. Like you don't have to be like a lot of things, but just writing down what you want to do and the time that you're gonna do it, because we actually have a lot of time throughout the day, but like we we waste it. So I'm just having that time and schedule is really really beneficial. So yeah, I think that's like one advice that I would give. Also with time management, I would say like try your best to go to sleep early and then wake up early. Um, for me at least, I think it's different for everyone, but for me, like if I'm working at 1 a.m., like I'm at like 50%. So an assignment that would have took me an hour to do is gonna take me 2 hours. But if I slept at 10 or 11 and woke up at 6, I would have been 100%, and then I could get my work done before my classes start. So I think that's just like really, really good advice. But maybe if you're a night person, then that's like the best way for you. Just like try to find like the best time that you're productive and try to stay consistent with that.
Yeah, Abdul make a great point, but also just want to emphasize on the questions. Like y'all can ask whatever questions honestly, because for me, when I was in the same process, I wasn't really asking all the questions I wanted to, or wasn't being as transparent and like what I wanted to know. So all of like myself and the rest of the students on this call have a bunch of experience with our college campuses, and we're open to any and all experiences. And also, if y'all want to know about any kind of student engagement or activities that we do on each of our campuses, or just a cultural experience in general on our campuses, because I'm pretty sure most of us go to PWI, just feel free to ask and let us know. I mean, we can honestly, low key, but that's up to the students. But yeah, feel free to ask any question. Be as transparent as possible, and we'll give you as much information as we know. But yeah, just want to emphasize on that.
Can we pick students out and ask them questions? I know for me, I wish that people would have like just said like, "Hey, Jelena, like, what about this, this, and this?" Like, you know, can we do that?
Um, I you can. You see someone on the list that you want to ask a question to. Do you know any of the students on the call?
Um, I feel like I do. I don't know for sure because everyone's cameras off, but I
Yeah.
mean, I have a general question for everyone. Like, do they know if they want to go to or what kind of college they want to go to, if that wasn't already asked?
Yeah, that's a great question. Can anyone, any of the students on the call answer, Jelena?
I don't mind calling out names too.
Call them out.
Denise.
Well, I really don't know yet. And then it's like now I have stuff going on, so it's like I'd rather stay in campus because like I don't want to get stuck in like moving and then I have to like I will have to eventually get a job. Get another job and stuff like that.
Well, you can always get a job in your major wherever you go to school. Like you can literally, you know, go up to your advisor and just say, "Hey, I need some experience in this area." And he'll literally give you a job, paid maybe. And then whatever, just it is an option for whatever you're doing. What about Leo?
Hello? What happened? Did my sound go out?
Or
Raw.
I would like to go to a technical college. I'm trying. I guess I'm trying. I think the one that I'm going probably aiming for. Wait, nope, not probably aiming for require a test score. So I'm working on that. Can you guys hear me? Like it's
We
so
can hear
quiet.
you. Yes. What are you thinking of studying?
Aerospace.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what school are you thinking about?
Georgia Tech.
Okay. Do any
Yeah,
of
I would like to ask like the people on the call, like, what do they actually want to study, or even if you don't know your major or anything, like what are some of your passions or something that you would like to do in the future?
So my answer is gonna sound kind of weird, but my goal in life is just to brainwash people. And when I say that, I mean I want to help people basically be more sure of their decisions, not just when it comes to their literary work, but when they speak, when they think. I want to help them push into the pain, push into the pain of being an adult. And I want to do that by you know, sensory therapy. I want to get them reacquainted with, the world around them and then be able to put it into writing in their own words. I think a lot of people, they take in information, but they don't necessarily know how to theorize. I guess that's the adult word for it. They don't know how to theorize. They don't know how to form their own conclusion or even argue for their conclusion. And I know I myself struggle with that. So that's the kind of community I want to build going forward, is a group of people who are like, yo, this hurts and this sucks, but it's what I loved, and so therefore it's worth it. And then get to the point where they say, hey, this actually didn't suck as bad as I thought it did, because
Like
everything
mentor.
else.
Great. Do any of the high school students on the call want to chime in with anything at this point? We're getting towards the end of our time and we have these great resources on hand. So
I have one more question. So to be if you take courses to be considered a minor, how many courses do you have to take for that? And is like a minor associate degrees or is it like below that?
Yeah, so it's going to vary from each institution. You know, at some institutions you need 6 courses for a minor, others you only need 5, others you need more. Uh, it's not an associate's degree, and I'll be honest with you, when you get your degree, it's not going to list your minor. Often, actually, it doesn't really list your major either. You get a bachelor of arts, a bachelor of science, bachelor's of mechanical engineering or electrical engineering. But there's a common misconception. I have a lot of students right now who are like, I want a double major and triple minor. I'm like, why? Like, what are you like? What's the reason? And they feel pressured to have as many majors and minors. But I'll be honest with you, I've never had someone ask me in a job interview, what was your minor? Like I've never had. I minored in Africana studies, but I've never actually been asked that by anyone other than students. Um, so a minor is an opportunity for students to get a depth of knowledge in a particular field without it being their major focus. Get it, major. But I think a lot of students put a lot of pressure on themselves, like do a double major with a minor. Like you don't just. I would say go into college with an open mind and allow your interest to dictate what you end up majoring in and minoring in. Don't feel like you have to do a major and have to do a minor.
Yeah, to add on to that, like regarding the minor, like I'm minoring in inequality studies. Um, I think like I have to take 6 courses, but many times when like you have an interest like that's correlated with your major, a lot of those classes like you don't have to take 6 different classes. Some of the classes that you're taking for your major counts for your minor depending on like what minor you pick. So you might be told that you have to take 6 courses, but some of those courses that you're already like expected to take would count for that minor. So like for my minor, I only have to take 2 additional classes to get that minor. So this I just wanted to let y'all know about that.
So I have a question. I have a question for anybody. Like, I have my answer, but I want to hear from somebody else on like what is what is college, I guess.
I feel like that's different for where you go. I could say for me, college is studying, working, trying to get sleep, remembering to stay healthy, remembering to eat, trying to network, trying to make friends, losing friends. Same concept as high school, but you're an adult and no one's gonna force you to do the things you have to do. It is fun. It's very fun, but you also have to. It's time management. College is literally time management.
I just want to add because, like Jelena said, it depends on like where you go. College is not only time management but accountability. Like in high school, I thought I was the smartest ever. I graduated at the top of my class. I did sports. I took dual enrollment credits. I took AP courses. I did everything because I thought I could manage my time. I get to college and I'm taking 2 courses less than what I was doing in high school. I'm only working one job and I am slipping on my grades because I thought maybe I could rush a 5 paper essay due the night before because I'm a procrastinator. But I was totally wrong. So you just have to really take accountability for like your work and everything. Friends, they come and go. You can't be too worried about that. Talk to people whenever you can. Like call them up whenever you have time, but make sure you're taking care of yourself. Wellness is like very important. So being in college will take a toll on your health. Like you just gotta make sure you stay focused and make sure you're actually talking with a advisor or a mentor or someone just to make sure they know how you're doing and get involved. Like you can be a student who don't shy or whatever, but try to get involved in some organization that's for you. A lot of research opportunities, just a lot of opportunities, period, with I know all of the colleges here. So you just have to make sure you're involved in actually looking to get involved into something.
I think for me, like college prepares you just to be an adult. Like everyone said, like accountability, like time management. Um, like definitely, like I could see like since the first semester of last year, like I've changed as a person, just like how I work, how I like talk to people. So I think like college is just like it just prepares you like just how to be on your own and like how to succeed. I think like regarding like education, this is just my personal opinion. Like most of the things that we're learning, like you can get like really at any college. It's not like the actual like information. I think like the main important part is like um being comfortable, like get comfortable being uncomfortable, you know? Like reach out to people, like try to make these friends because a lot of times like there are gonna be people that you're gonna like be friends with for the rest of your life. And I've learned so many things from like just like friends than like actual like classes. So I think like college is also like networking, like network with people like your friends. They got networks that they could put you on to something. Like one of my friends just got a internship at Morgan Stanley, and he told some of his friends, and they got the same internship. So I think just put yourself out there, and like it will really help you like succeed, like regarding like just getting a job, but also like mental health is really important. Like having like a community of friends, like it's really important. So yeah, like put yourself out there and yeah.